Hi, my name is Tom Jordahl and I work as a computer scientist in the data services team here at Adobe. And today I'm going to talk to you about a new feature in data services called managed remoting. Managed remoting is a conglomeration of RemoteObject, which is the RPC style of services that data services has done with Flex applications for a while now, and data management, which is another way of doing high performance management of data on your Flex applications. So let's take a look here at a simple data management application that we have to manage contacts. Contacts are a single table in my database. I have various fields in there: first name, last name, email, phone number. I'm using the data model editor in Flash Builder here to explore my database table. You can see I have the contacts right here, and in order to make this model, I simply dragged and dropped the contact table onto my data model canvas. I then deployed that to my server. It's a simple operation, and if I want, I can actually create the table, or in this case I have some existing data, so I'm going to leave that alone. So I've got that deployed, I've got that set up, and I can go into the brand new destination browser and I can see my deployed models. You can see here I have a simple managed remoting model deployed, and I have a single destination named contact there. So right there I can start with that and create a standard data management application, but I would like to make a managed remoting application which gives you more of a declarative RPC style of service. So let's take a quick look at my application here. I have what we call a managed remote service object in ActionScript, and this I declare with my destination name, and I can treat this just like it's a remote object. I can invoke operations on it, and everything I do is declarative. So you see here, I declared that here, and I have my operations. If I want to get my list of contacts, I call my service get contacts. If I want to create a contact, I create a contact here, and I call my create contact. Let's take a quick look at that service implementation on the back end. So this looks very much like a standard Java remote object, except that you notice we have some Java 5 annotations here that tell data services what to do with this class. So you see here we have a managed remote service annotation, and we specified that same destination ID that I was using in my ActionScript class. And I also declare my managed entities. This is the data types, the item types that I want to manage. Now I only have one here in this simple example, but you can have any number of managed entities in a single service, which is slightly different than the existing data management. So here you see I have my contact class. Now my contact class, since I started with a data model, I can actually generate that automatically from my data model. So we can take a closer look at this service. You see that each of the functions in the service are annotated with these data services annotations. In particular, you see the get contact is labeled as a get, create contact is create, delete contact is delete. That's pretty straightforward, and they do exactly what they say they do. But what you will also notice here is that they don't really have much in the way of content in them, because we are using the existing destinations created for us by deploying the model to do that persistence for us. So you see in the get, I go and I get something called the managed remoting context. And the managed remoting context allows me to have access to a bunch of convenience methods. In this particular case, we have getItem, which returns obviously a contact. Now how does it do that? Well, it invokes the assembler that was created by the deployment of the model, which created some JPA annotated beans and went off to the database and fetched that data. The interesting function here is the update. In standard data management, you would have an assembler class that would get an update item. But in managed remoting, you have any number of update functions that you can define, and they have access to the same information that a data management assembler would have. So in this particular case, you see update contact here. It has access to the change object through the managed remoting context, and we can find out what properties changed on the client that we're about ready to apply on the server. And in this particular case, you can modify an item on the server side. So in our contact service, we want to make sure that all email addresses have an @ sign in them. And if they don't, we're going to add the default domain of adobe.com onto the back of that. And in this particular function, we're going to return a string that describes what properties were changed. So let's take a look at that in the operation. So you see here I have my contact application running. I'll just reload that to make sure that we're fresh. Right then it called a getContacts fill function, and that populated our data grid. Now this data grid is managed data, so the data is managed. If that data was changed by any other application using managed remoting or data management, all those updates would be pushed to my client live if I were looking at them. So let's do some simple operations here. We can edit Jane Campbell, and we're going to add her email address, and we'll give a address for her. So she'll live on Main Street. We'll click our update contact, and you saw right here that it says I called the update contact, Jane Campbell was changed, and the properties were changed. Not only was her email changed, but her address was changed, so we got that list back. But even though I typed in Jane, the data came back jane@adobe.com because she did not have an ad. So if I make that change to here with Linda, or excuse me, Jack, and we say Jack at, and we update that contact, you'll notice that the email is updated, but it was able to find out that it already had an @ sign in it, so it didn't make any changes. And so on for the operations such as delete contact or creating a new contact. You see I created a new contact here. And I'm invoking these operations in a declarative way and not in an implicit way like the original data management does. There's one other thing I wanted to show you. The functions that you can call in your managed remote service don't have to be annotated as being special management functions. You can define as many of the standard kind of remote object functions as you'd like. So in our example here, we have this shipping label function that if we come over and take a look at the service source code here, scroll down to get show shipping label, you can see that it's not annotated with anything. You can optionally annotate it with a remoting include annotation to say that to call out visually that it's included, but just like remote object, any public method in your service class will be available to your client. And you see here show shipping label. It doesn't do anything special with the managed remoting context. It just returns a string that says no contact found, or in fact a shipping label for that contact. So if we go and we push the button here, shipping label for contact 12, you'll see that it's found the contact Mary Johnson is number 12. But if we show contact for 13, it'll return the string no contact found. So that's just a standard remote object invocation, same as you would do with your Flex apps today. So in summary, you can write remote object style services that leverage the features, some of which I haven't even touched on, like paging and lazy loading. But you can write them in the style, a more declarative style of remote object. So this is a new feature that we call managed remoting. We're very excited about that. And to learn more about this feature and other features in the new data services, just go on to the Adobe Developer Connection. And my name is Tom Jordahl, and thank you very much.